Should church musicians play in secular bands? I recently did a poll on YouTube, and of the 627 of you that took that poll, 29% said yes, it is wrong, and 71% said no, it is not wrong. So it is clear that this topic resonates, which is why I decided to do a video on it to give my take. For some, it's about staying true to their calling and focusing their music on glorifying God. And for others, it's about financial realities, especially when many churches underpay or don't pay their musicians at all. And add to that, the interpretation of what the word secular music really means. And then that gives us a lot to unpack. So let's dive into it. Let's start with the argument from those that says playing in a secular band is wrong. Their main point is your gift comes from God, so it should be used exclusively for His glory. They cite verses like 1 Corinthians 10:31, which says, "Whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God." From this perspective, playing in a secular band could dilute that focus, turning your spiritual calling into just another gig. However, not all Christian music is necessarily considered secular in a negative sense. It often depends on the intention, the message, and the context of the music. For example, music with positive or neutral themes such as love, gratitude, or hope may align with Christian values even if it doesn't explicitly mention God. On the other hand, music that glorifies sin, violence, and anti-Christian ideologies could generally conflict with Christians' worldview. This distinction adds depth to the argument. Is it the music itself the problem, or is it the environment and purpose behind its performance? Another perspective centers on the broader cultural influence of music. They argue that engaging with secular bands may unintentionally endorse or elevate values that contradicts Christians' belief. Even if those intentions are pure, the perception of your involvement could send mixed signals to those who look up to you as a spiritual leader. Additionally, there's the challenge of staying spiritually grounded. Playing in a secular band often means immersing yourself in diverse environment, which may not always align with your faith. They say maintaining a strong spiritual foundation requires intentional effort to ensure that your personal walk with Christ isn't compromised by pressures or influences of the secular music industry. And finally, they mention the impact on your church. If you're spending your time and energy in a secular band, are you neglecting your role in the faith community? They believe church musicians have a unique calling to lead worship and inspire others. For them, stepping into a secular band feels like stepping away from that higher purpose. Now let's look at the other side of the coin. The argument for those that says playing in a secular band is completely fine. And for me, to be honest, that's where I stand. I'm on that side of the coin. Let's talk about it. Many of us see playing in secular bands as an opportunity to shine God's light in unexpected places. Matthew chapter 5 verses 16 puts it best. Let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify our Father in heaven. For us, being in a secular band isn't about blending in, but about standing out. There's also the personal growth factor. Playing with different musicians in varied genres of music sharpen your skills and creativity. I'm a very product of that environment. A lot of what I know and learn and how I teach comes from being able to interact and play with musicians outside the church. These experiences don't just make you a better musician, they make you a better worship leader. It's about taking what you've learned and using it to serve in your ministry. And let's not forget outreach. Secular music bands often reach audiences who would never set foot in church. For those musicians, this gives us an opportunity to connect with people, build relationships, and show Christ's love in a way that feels natural and authentic. Do you struggle with these three crucial questions? What to practice, how to practice effectively, and when to move on to the next level? Without clear answers, progress is slow and frustrating. This is why I created pianolessonwithwarren.com, a structured program tailored for gospel pianists, guiding you from beginner to advanced seamlessly. At every step, you'll know exactly what to practice, how to practice it, and when to advance. Join thousands of successful students worldwide who have achieved their musical goals with my proven method. Visit pianolessonwithwarren.com and start your 7-day free trial today. Here's the bottom line. Every musician's journey is personal. I have spent years playing in secular bands, and for me, it was about more than just music. It helped me to provide it for my family, to grow as a musician, and to connect with people in meaningful ways. Before I started this online program, most of my income came from playing in secular bands. But through it all, I stayed grounded in my faith. This brings up an important reality for many church musicians, and that is income. The truth is, not every church pays their musicians fairly, and for some, they don't even pay at all. So secular gigs aren't just optional. They're essential for many of us to make ends meet. It's not just about passion, it's about survival. When churches aren't willing or able to compensate musicians, how else are we supposed to feed our families, pay bills, and invest in our craft? Playing in secular bands allows musicians to sustain themselves financially while continuing to grow and develop their skills. It's a way to honor God by stewarding the gifts He's given us and ensuring that we keep using it both inside and outside the church. As musicians, we're called to be good stewards, not just of our talents, but also of the opportunities we have to provide for ourselves and those who depend on us. As Colossians chapter 3 verses 17 says, "Whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it in the name of the Lord Jesus." Whether you're on a worship team or playing in a jazz club, what matters is your heart, your motives, and how you stay aligned with your calling. So, is it wrong for church musicians to play in secular bands? It all depends on your perspective and how you navigate your faith in those spaces. I hope this discussion has given you some things to think about. Now it is your turn. What do you think? I want to know. Comment in the comment section down below. Let's keep the conversation going. And before you go, please, if you have not done so already, give the channel a like and a subscribe. Little stuff like that help the channel greatly, help me in continuing to do what I do over here on YouTube. And lastly, if you are a gospel pianist, you want to learn how to play gospel piano effectively in a step-by-step manner that is guaranteed to work, be sure to check out pianolessonwithwarren.com. All right? Until then, keep listening, keep singing, keep practicing, because that's how you'll continue to grow as a musician. Have a blessed week.